Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm here and honored to introduce Travis Redenbaugh. And you are, now tell me the position that you hold here.
So I'm now currently the director of driver services here at Smoky Point Distributing.
And what as director of driver services is it that you do?
So I'm responsible for the recruiting department as well as all of our marketing, the ads, Facebook, social media, all of that kind of stuff, as well as the fleet managers, and payroll. All payroll comes through my desk, as well as all truck assignments.
All right, that's awesome.
It's a full plate. Want some? Because it's a little overflowing.
You know what? I would not mind that. So, if I understand correctly, you used to actually be a driver yourself.
Absolutely. So after spending 10 years in the infantry, when I got out of high school, I went and got my CDL. I actually started working on the docks at Oral Wheat Foods here in Seattle, and worked on the dock there for about a year, and determined that, man, I don't want to drive a truck. So I went out and got my license. That was about 36 years ago, and started driving, and got an opportunity to drive for them. Position came open, and drove for them for about 4 years before they buttoned up the Seattle operation and moved it down to Portland. And so I moved over to Food Services of America, where I drove for them for about 7 years before I got an opportunity to move over onto the management side, and then I've kind of taken it from there. Started off as a transportation supervisor, and worked my way from there up to a manager, and now at the director level.
Well, first of all, let me thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
So, being a driver in this industry, what was one thing that you actually enjoyed about this industry?
The freedom, right? Not having somebody sitting right there or over the top of my head telling me this is what you need to do and when. Just being able to be out there by myself and do my thing. And I always enjoyed my customers, and I was kind of fortunate in the fact that, after time I got on my own dedicated route, and so I had my customers that I took care of, and so we got to know each other really well over 4 or 5 years, and it just the friendships that I made, I enjoyed being out on the road.
Nice. So with that, there's always a high side and there's always a low side.
Absolutely.
What is the one thing as being a driver that you would say is the least enjoyable part of it? And with that, if you could change one thing, what would it be and how?
Well, drivers make, I would say, the sacrifices, right? We sacrifice a lot of time, especially as an OTR driver. We sacrifice a lot of time away from our families and away from home. And although technology, has changed over the last 35 years, and we didn't have Skype, or we didn't have FaceTime or things like that back in the day. That's made things a little bit easier, but you're still missing a lot from home. And so I guess if there's one thing that I would say, the downside, yep, if you want to make the money, you're gonna sacrifice, and you're gonna sacrifice some home time, right? And that would be probably one thing that I would change about this industry. Would be the way drivers are treated. Drivers are oftentimes drivers are treated like crap, right? They don't even, when you go to make a delivery to a customer, you can't even use their damn bathrooms. They tell you to go outside and use the porta potty that's outside, and you get treated like a second class citizen. And I think that's something that this industry, right, wrong, or indifferent, that's what this industry has done to people, right? And I see it weekly when we have the recruiting people coming through orientation, and I gotta tell them time and time again, look, I get it, this industry has done a lot of bad things to people, and has really put some sour tastes in people's mouths, right? That's not Smoky Point Distributing. That's not how we operate. That's not what we do. And it's really hard because the minute something goes south or sideways, and it does because this is trucking, right? Their mind instantly goes back to what happened in their past. And it's really hard to really get past that, right? We have to almost prove ourselves each and every day, and each and every phone call that comes through, because again, that's right where people's mind goes back to. So to button that up, what would I change about the industry is the way people treat drivers, the way drivers are treated, both from a company standpoint, from the fleet manager, the dispatcher, is all the way to the shippers. And what did I like? The freedom.
I could honestly contest to that, because like, for me being a driver, I know exactly where you're coming from on that one. So it took a while for me to get to the point where I've been able to get to, and I've been a driver for you guys for what, year and a half now, about 2 years total with the break.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've really been able to learn throughout time, that, you know, hey, since this company did this, doesn't mean that company did that.
Right.
And that's one of my hopes with this, doing the YouTube channel, is the fact that I could show that, you know, even though there's a bad name for the trucking industry as a whole, whether you're driving your car and see, oh, there's a truck driver right there, and get scared, that there's a human aspect to this industry.
Absolutely. And you know, we've seen things over this last 2-3 years that this industry has never seen, right? And if it wasn't for our drivers, this nation would have come to a screeching halt 3 years ago. And I just, you know, it's incredible to see that one week you can be the hero, and the next week you're standing out in front of the Parliament building up in Ontario, Canada, and you're now a terrorist because you're voicing your opinion. And I just, again, it goes back to how we treat our drivers, and really, you're right, how we treat humans, because they're human beings, right? And you know, they are isolated. Our drivers are, you know, spend hours upon hours upon hours with no interaction with anybody. And sometimes, you know, when they get a chance to sit down and talk to people,
like we are now.
They want to talk, right? They want to interact with people, and they're humans, and I think, you know, that's where we've gone wrong for so many years, and why I'm here where I'm at, because at Smoky Point Distributing, and why I've stayed here, because of the way we treat people.
Very awesome. Now, you being in the position that you are now, what is something that you see yourself being able to achieve in the future?
Well, you know, that's a tough one, because we've achieved a lot. I guess pay, and how drivers are compensated and paid. I think we've made some big strides here at Smoky Point Distributing in changing that, and I think there's more work to be done there. You know, I guess I get satisfaction out of knowing that we're providing for a family, and that family is successful. And so I guess continuing on with that theme of, you know, trying to push to where drivers have the ability to earn $100,000 a year and make a decent living where they can provide for their family. And that's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do.
All right. Well, you heard it from himself, and trust me, from someone that made $80,000 last year, it's definitely doable. So I'm gonna go and wrap it up here, and with that, I will have a link into their website and a contact number for them. And I'm quite sure if for any of you guys that are watching want to be able to talk to Travis himself, I'm quite sure he will be more than willing to talk to you about that. And if you have any questions, go and leave it down in the comments. I'll make sure to answer them as quick as possible. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and y'all have a great day.